It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Sunraysia Netball was back in action across the Easter weekend, much to the chagrin of some, I think. But look, it's split round for round one. 2 games last week, 2 games coming up this week. The Ouyen United Kangas have the bye. They're still waiting, and the head Kanga joins me on the line. How you going, Cailtin?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back again. Good to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, good to have you back. How was your Easter?
Easter was amazing. It was good to get away up the river and just relax.
Obviously, didn't bother taking in any of the netball for round one. And why? And to be honest, why would you? I'm not sure why you guys play over Easter, to be quite honest.
I know. It's actually kind of funny. We were full in holiday mode and other teams were frantically getting into the first season. So it's an unusual feeling.
I very much dislike the idea of country leagues playing on Good Friday, but regardless, there was a game on Good Friday, and it was Irimple taking on South Mildura. Irimple doing the hosting there, and it was South Mildura winning that game relatively comfortably in the end, in the A grade this is. So 46-38, still relatively tight, but South Mildura doing enough. Is that a bit of a surprise, that result?
I'm a little bit surprised. I think it's a really good reflection that our pre-season cup was nothing to go by. That's, a really good result for South. As I said, we haven't really got into our netball brains yet, so it's sort of hard to know what these teams are looking like. But I do know in the pre-season cup playing against South that they've got some fit centres that would have really helped them get that win. So that would have been really good for South to sort of be back on top, especially against Irimple, who've been so strong for the first few years. So a great start for South for sure.
Yep, no doubt. On Easter Saturday, there was a game as well, and that was Imperials hosting Redcliffe. Now, it's like regular programming has resumed for Redcliffe. You can almost, they're the most consistent side in the competition. They just go down by 15 to 20 goals every week, but there's going to be a win around the corner for these Redcliffe girls at some point, I feel. Imperials beat them 50-31, but they're always competitive.
Always competitive. It's not a bad score against the Imperials, who are looking very dangerous this year, might I just add. But I think I read something that it's a near 8-year run without an A-grade win for Redcliffe. So that's pretty tough. But I know they've got a new coach in Steph O'Loughlin, who was previously the star shooter for Irimple. So she's a big grab for Redcliffe, and hopefully she can lead the way to that win. But, unfortunately for the Redcliffe girls, it was another loss.
It's coming at some point. You just don't see a massively blown-out scoreline when Redcliffe's play, but they just can't seem to get over the line. I don't know what it is. And their B-grade and C-grade results on the weekend, they went down by 4 goals in the C-grade and 4 goals in the B-grade. So talk about having your foot on the till. They're right there as a club. They just can't quite sneak over the line.
They're never to be underestimated. It's never an easy game against them. They just can't quite get there.
Gee whiz, they're my team. I'm barracking for them, along with the Kangas, of course, but we've got to get them over the line at some point this year, Cailtin.
They'll get there. I've got faith in them.
Yeah, all right. Let's have a look at the draw for this weekend. As I mentioned, the Kangas have got another week on the sidelines, and we'll talk about your girls in a tick. But games this weekend, Merbein taking on Robinvale Euston. What do you know about those two sides?
Merbein, I know, have got a few ins. Some of their previous players who took a couple of years off are back. Sophie Kazitsky, who is an ex-Warwick Neville, ex-Ouyen girl, is looking very strong for Merbein. So she usually flicks around in the centre. So she'll be a good grab for Merbein, I think. With a few extras, they'll be quite strong against Robinvale this year.
Okay, Robinvale struggling a touch, well, they did last year. I guess we'll wait and see how they shape up. Wentworth, well, we know their pedigree. Mildura, what a start to the season for Wentworth. They get a couple of interesting games in the first 2 rounds. Wentworth, Mildura should be relatively tight.
Definitely going to be very tight. I haven't really got to see much of Mildura yet. And I know Wentworth, they just remain consistent. So that'll be an interesting one to see how that score matches up, especially for us looking into the next round against Wentworth.
What about that for a start for the season for Wentworth? Mildura at round 1 and then the Ouyen Kangas round 2. You guys really should just play off for the 2021 Premiership in round 2. That makes sense to me.
I know. It's going to be straight into the hot rivalry for our first game, that's for sure. It'll be, it'll be a good reflection, I think.
No easing into it for your girls. So how are you preparing for it? How are they looking on the track? Have you been having trial games and inter-club matchups? What have you been doing?
Yeah, we've just been working really hard just as a collective in our senior group, and we've also been bringing a few juniors up, just doing as much gameplay as we can and keeping our fitness up. Kyra's been cracking the whip on the fitness, so we've had some really tough trainings this week, which is good. And the girls are looking really fit. Kyra, our A-grade coach and our A-grade star, is looking really fit for another year. And so is Alan Morris, who will be our runners throughout the centre. Everyone is just really excited and the vibes are good. So that's a good start, I think, for any season. If everyone's keen and ready to have a crack and at least have fun, then I think we'll be successful.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait for next week when we get to preview the Kangas' first game of the season. Looking forward to that, but I'm sure you'll be keeping an eye on that Wentworth score this weekend. So, Cailtin, enjoy the last weekend of no netball and look forward to catching up with you again next week to see how you're shaping up ahead of your first match.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to having something more juicy to talk about.
Thanks, mate.